trigger is the starting point where the trace is start to draw across the screen. As you see here, trigger the selection, the starting point up for the trace, voltage level, and time. For example, you see here, I have my trigger set up at 2 volts. You see this right here? That's my starting point here at 2 volts. You see that? See one? About 2 volts right there. My time is across the screen horizontally, left to right. So you can see here, from this point here to this point here, is my on, off. My time from this point here ends here. It's a little over about 1.5 milliseconds, the amount of time for this injector pulse. Now let's go back to the trigger. The trigger voltage and time can be displayed from a toolbox menu in the upper right hand corner. See right here? Oh, this is a lower corner. Channel 1, negative slope. Or it could be channel 1, 2, 3, 4, a cylinder number 1, or none. You really don't want to set it to none. Most of the time, before you adjust it, when you start the car up, you try to get the trigger, you might want to start at auto. So anyway, the trigger can start drawing a picture off any channel. If it has 1 to 4 channels, or 1 to 2 channels, off a cylinder, or you can set it to auto before you manually set it. Okay, when you get good at the scope, you will manually set your trigger up. Let's go back to this one. Now here's the trigger. This little X right here is your triggering point. This right here is on a negative slope because it's come from a higher number, higher value. This is about 14 volts down to a lower number. That's a negative slope, or falling edge. Or it could be set, on a rising edge. See right here? From a lower number to a higher value. That would be a rising edge. Your trigger, that should be your trigger on a rising edge. It all depends on the signal you're looking at, how you want to set it up. So my trigger on this particular picture is 2 volts. See, 2 volts on a falling edge. If I was on this one, this would be about 2 volts again on a rising edge. So, again, to repeat itself, trigger starts drawing a trace at a certain voltage level. I forgot to say this also. If the voltage level is set too high or too low, you may not have a trigger. So you might not have a picture. For example, this signal right here, it goes high as 40 volts. If I take this trigger and move it all the way ahead of 45 to 50 volts, you'll never see this picture. The same thing if I take this trigger and go all the way down here, you may not see the picture because they need a place to start drawing it from if you do it manually. So in this case here, you want to set on auto and watch how you set, so the scope can set it up for you. If you do it manually, you gotta be careful where you set the trigger at. Okay, so you gotta know the signal you're looking for. And again, I go off any channel or cylinder. Like I said, auto. I could turn the rising edge or the falling edge. And let me see, that's about it. And this symbol right here represents the slope, which is the falling edge. If I go here, as the slope is the rising edge. Talking about that later on. Okay. If you got any questions, let me know in class, social media, email. Peace. I'm out.